friends, and welcome to Kenn's Wild Tea, where we break down and dish out the tea on your favorite anime. I'm Wildcard,
And I'm Ken.
and today we will be discussing Death Parade, which currently has one season. Today we have a special guest joining us, Bree.
Before we begin, please keep in mind that all of our podcasts are based off the English dub. We will also be discussing major plot points, so this is your official spoiler warning.
Hey guys! So, yes, welcome back. We are talking about Death Parade today. It was a fun and twisted kind of anime, as some people like to point out. But yes, so this one was a little bit dark. If you guys have not watched it, this is kind of a reminder of your spoiler warning, even though we already did that. But it gets, also there might be a bit of trigger warnings as well if you haven't seen it yet. There is abuse in it, there is murder in it, there is blood and gore in it. What else, guys? I know I'm missing one other trigger warning.
The title of the last episode is literally called Suicide Tour, so if that's not an answer for you.
If suicide is a trigger for you, do not.
Yeah.
Do not. That was the other one. I was like, I know there's another one that's big that I need to put in there.
It does also briefly go over, like, assault.
Yeah, it's like, that's what I meant, like the... Either way, so we got assault, we got a suicide, and we got potentially sexual assault. It doesn't.
Yeah, that was never quite clear.
It kind of hinted at it more so.
It hinted at it, and then lots of blood and gore. So this is your huge warning. Do not watch this anime if any of those are triggers for you. This is not the anime for you. I will admit, I took so many more notes on this one. It was ridiculous.
There's a lot going on in this anime.
Yes, so there's so many details to it that you can't miss them all. Like, there's so many, and they always kind of, with this anime, one of the benefits of it is, like, almost every episode is kind of like a little new story. You still should watch them in order, but you can technically watch them out of order for the first, like, what one is it? First 7. Because 8 goes into 9, so you can't do that one out of order. So yeah, so for the first 7, they're kind of like, just watch at your own pace in a way. There is a little bit of story in them, but like it doesn't have to be exactly in order. It is obviously recommended to watch them in order, but yeah. So the way we do this, if you guys weren't here for last podcast, is we start off with a brief summary of the anime and then kind of give a opinion of each episode as we kind of go. So we'll do a brief summary of each episode, and then give you guys our personal opinion on each episode, just a small little one. And then at the end, we'll do an overall how we thought, how we felt about this anime, whether or not we recommend it, that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, we'll get into chatting about it a bit before we get into the next anime and what we plan on watching for next week. So, yeah.
Next month.
That's right. Sorry, next month. It's next month starts next week, okay? You can't blame me. So first episode. So just to do a quick summary of the characters. We've got Quinn and Deckham. Quinn is the old owner of this death bar, as I like to call it. Deckham is the current owner of this death bar. We've got a no-name girl that we find out her name later on, which is Chiyuki. Nona, which is the boss to Deckham. We've gotta scroll through them all to find out where their names are. We got Castra, which is a woman in the blood. There's a blood room. There's Clavis, who is the elevator man / assistant to Nona. And then it took forever for us to actually learn his name. But the godlike being, his name is... Where is it? Is Oculus, or something along those lines.
If you look him up online, his like official name for the anime is Oculus God, is what.
Yeah, he's a god. We all know he's a god. But those are the characters throughout this whole thing. Oh, and Genti. Genti is another bar owner that you kind of.
Is it Genti or is it Ginty?
It was Ginty.
Sorry.
Is it Ginty? No, I think it depended on the accent of the character, because some characters called him Genti and some of them were Ginty. It was kind of weird. I don't know.
My bad.
I didn't hear it.
I don't know how to spell that. Okay, like I hear it and I attempt a spelling.
When we were watching it yesterday, she spelled it. What was it? Gintee? Or no, that was me.
Yeah, that was you. I spelled it with a Y at the end, which is very close.
And then I spelled it with Genti. That's how I spelled it. That's why I fucked it up.
Well, that's how it is spelled. That's how it's supposed to be spelled. So you were actually right.
I was right. Yeah, it's because I watch enough anime that I kind of know how a lot of them are spelled. So when I'm spelling them, I kind of assume.
Deckham's name.
Yeah, Deckham's name was not spelled right for me at all.
I spelled Dekum is how I
That's how I spelled it too. Yep, that's how we spelled it too. But it's actually spelled
our heads.
Yeah, it's spelled Decim. So weird. Yeah, Decim. It's so weird.
It's pronounced Deckham.
And then Quinn is obvious. It's Quin is how I spelled Quinn.
Yeah.
Nona, I spelled Nonah.
I left out the H.
Yeah, I left out the H.
I don't think either of those are right, by the way.
High five for simplicity.
Castra.
I understood my notes.
Castra, I literally spelled it as cast and raw.
Yep.
I didn't know her name because I didn't hear it.
It says
so
it once.
I just wrote down Skull Lady.
It only says it once. And then there's Clavis, who's the elevator guy, and that's
boy.
It's Clavis is how I spelt it. And then Oculus, it auto-corrected me, so I didn't have to worry about that one.
See, I just referred to him as old creepy man.
I call him godlike man from the very beginning of when he popped in.
He's given me like such bad vibes from the moment he appeared on screen.
That's
I was
the way it's supposed to be. He's supposed to seem really fucking creepy right from the beginning. Anyway, let's get into episode 1. So episode 1. A couple is introduced to the bar. And there's going to be a little more detail because obviously the first episode you learn... Well, it's more the second episode you learn a lot.
I was about to say, the first episode is just a freaking whirlwind of
You're like, what the hell's going on? Anyway. So yes, first episode, a couple comes into the bar. They were on a honeymoon before they arrived to this bar because they don't 100% know what's going on. They have no memory. Aside from the fact that they were on their honeymoon. Forced to play a game, or cannot leave. And apparently life is at stake. Roulette chose darts. Because they have to press a button, and it does a roulette, and it chose darts for them. The darts hit a body part and reflect pain for every depending on the point system. So if they got the double, it's double the pain. If they get the triple, it's triple the pain. And then each number represents a different body part. Man was told about a way to avoid hurting each other by purposely missing each dart. However, as things progressed, their memories started coming back. And in doing so, the man starts to purposely hit the numbers. To the point where he starts to hurt her on purpose. And then he actually tries to steal her dart after he remembers that she cheated on him. Or at least he thinks she cheated on him. Tries to steal the dart because it's the last one left, because she's going to win the points if she hits the board. She does steal it back. I know I'm kind of jumping around, guys.
Okay.
She does steal it back and then tries to throw it the complete opposite way of the board. He ends up grabbing her, and thus it ends up accidentally hitting the board. And because of that, she finds out they were already dead. Instant, like, what? Woman says she cheated, and man tries to kill the woman. Yeah, guys, got anything else to add? Because obviously I went as simple as possible, just jotting as much down as possible, but not going into too much detail, because we do not have all day.
The fact that he was like such a gaslighter, it wasn't funny.
Well, the emotions just were flip-flopping back and forth really fast, because at first they were trying not to hurt each other, and then she said to him, like, hey, I'm pregnant, please, if you're gonna hit me, try not to hit my stomach of all places. And then the first thing he does was hit her stomach, and then it turns into how he thinks that she cheated on him and how the baby isn't his, and then she exclaims that it's actually his, and it's just...
And then tells him, no, he's right, I did cheat.
Yeah.
At the very end, which is...
We get into it next episode. Yeah. We're not going into it now.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying at the beginning, is that, like, this episode just left more questions than ever, which is the first episode, so obviously you're going to get a bunch of questions at the end
Especially when they're not explaining anything, and it's just...
No, not a thing.
Here you go.
Yeah.
Here's all this information that you know nothing about.
And it was also interesting, because I figured that the whole point of the series, because it was so short, that it was going to follow these two throughout the season.
Mm-hmm.
So when he was like killed right away, quote unquote, after playing the game, I was like, okay, well, that's fast. Well, now what? You know what I mean? Like, it's just so many questions.
It showed us like all this backstory as if they were gonna be sticking around.
I know, that's what I mean.
I would like to say that I had watched this anime before these two had, so I knew already about a lot of this going into it. So it was kind of funny when they were messaging me, giving me like, "What the fuck's going on?" like all the time. I was like, "Just keep watching." So I already knew something that gets told in episode 2 because I remembered it. The second I watched it, I was like, "Ha!" And none of them actually clued into that until they watched episode 2. Anyway, so are we good on episode 1? Opinions?
Yeah, I think we can.
What is our original opinion just on episode 1?
Confused as fuck.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, just original opinion I gave at the beginning, just like very questioning.
So yes,
things.
Obviously I was slightly different because I watched it already before, but yeah. So the big thing is with episode 1, you're gonna be very confused. You don't know what the hell is going on aside from like obviously what is happening on that episode, and that's where episode 2 comes in.
Oh, and in this episode too, I think Deckham explains to them that because they died at the same time they were sent here. Doesn't he explain that in this episode?
I thought that was in the next episode. I thought that was in the next episode.
I have it in my notes in the first one, so I just assumed it was the first episode. That's
maybe it's when they both figure out that they're dead. He explains it. Or something.
I'm thinking so.
I don't know, man.
I thought it was in the second one. Anyway. Second episode time! So, yes, so we meet Nona, the boss lady, and we meet No Name Girl. And then we actually find out who Deckham is, because we don't know his name yet. And then we find out Deckham. So yes, Deckham is the bar owner. No Name Girl will work with Deckham. They go behind the scenes. Deckham collects dolls, or dummies is the proper term. In episode 2 is literally just an explanation and a walkthrough of everything that happened in episode 1. So what's going on, that kind of thing. So in a nutshell, they're being judged. Every time someone comes in, they're just getting judged, and they are purposely misled to think that they are still alive at the beginning because their memories are wiped. So that they will be forced into playing this game because it's supposed to represent or be pushed into the idea that it's their life at stake. Obviously, they don't know that they're dead. at the beginning, with the exception of someone else that you'll find out later. But, like, they don't know that they're dead. They have no idea. So because of that, they get pushed into thinking that their life is at stake when it comes to the game. So they do have to play it. And that's what makes them play it. They play the game, and during that game, things are triggered, things are done, so that way it can create an intense situation that reveals their true colors, if you will. And that is why, how Deckham decides their judgment. So I didn't end up saying it in episode 1, but it was the man ended up going to be reincarnated and the woman went to the void, which I thought at the time was a little twisted, seeing as what happened at the end, but it's even more twisted when you know what the fuck she did. So No Name realizes the woman lied to save the man from pain. So yeah, she lied about cheating on him, just so that way he wouldn't feel that heartache of actually being the reason why they were dead, because he caused the car crash. So she purposely lied to try to relieve some of that pain,
which the No Name girl explained to know.
Yeah, she was the one. She was the one who realized it, not Deckham.
Yeah.
And Deckham didn't realize the woman was lying. Deckham doesn't understand why she lied and is very confused as to why she lied. And Nona is impressed by No Name, but she missed something. I don't remember what that something was.
She thought that they could have had a happy life together, but it was really the man was like really like insecure and manipulative. The man was
insecure, and there's no way he would ever be able to trust anyone fully. So in the end, the man was screwed to begin with. But yes, so in reality, it should have been the opposite way around, where the woman should have been reincarnated and the man should have went to the void. But yes, so that's that episode. Anyone want to add anything else, or did I cover that enough?
No, I didn't really have much notes for episode 2. So I think
that was probably the smallest notes I had. Was episode
3 episodes, I was literally writing on sticky notes. All right, like this size.
Third episode.
Then we went to a book.
Yep. Yeah.
See, I just use my phone. I just use a notepad in my phone and just keep going. I just put episode 1 and then list and just jot notes as quick as possible. Episode 2, jot notes. Episode 3, jot notes.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I did too. I think the only thing I would add to this one is that we kind of actually get a name for what these people actually are, which is an arbiter.
Yes, I don't think
that's
put that in.
Episode 1, they didn't say who they were, but episode 2, I have like arbiter every other point, so I'm assuming they said it.
Yes, I'm assuming they said it too. So yes, they are, the people that are judging them are called arbiters. I know I put it in like further down, but I don't know why I didn't put it the very first time. Maybe I just didn't catch it the first time, or
it's probably because you've watched it so many times that you're just used to it.
I'm like, I knew what they were.
So, yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So
anyway, so what is our opinion on that one?
Well, I was thankful to get an explanation as to what was going on in episode 1, so that was nice.
Clarification.
Yeah.
I also thought it was going to go a completely different direction from that point. And it did not. I thought that it was gonna go more into the lives of the arbiters, and
I mean, it like kind of does, but not really.
But not really.
Not really.
It's like it focuses on the job. It doesn't focus on anything else, really.
The issues.
I think if there was going to be a second season, they would have. But that's the problem: is there isn't a second season of this one, so you're kind of left in the dark a lot with what the fuck's gonna happen next. But it is kind of, the main thing with this one is it was focused on the No Name girl and her situation, which I kind of find out, I think, in the next.
They gave her a name.
Yes.
Like, I forgot what it was because I didn't write it down.
You don't find out her name until much later, though, and it's...
No, but they gave her a name, and it was the...
They do not give her a name.
So I could have sworn the blue-haired girl with the braid was like, oh, I'll call you this for now.
Nope. She is literally has no name. The whole entire thing. She is just considered a no-name girl until that episode when she finds out her name. They never actually call her anything. Trust me. I knew this one for a fact. I'm like, no, she is never named until that episode. And I would have jotted that down the second they would have given her a name, I would have jotted it down. But her actual name is Chiyuki. Is what her name is. But yes, anyway.
That name isn't said until like...
Yeah, it's like... What episode?
As of right now, we're in the dark.
I think it's like episode 10. No.
Yeah.
11.
Something like super done late. Like, just like, yeah.
No, it is 10, I think. Where is it?
It's the episode with the old lady, when they play old lady.
Yeah, okay, 10. Episode 10 is when.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's get
weird I don't have that in there. Anyway. So episode 3. So we've got a young man and a young girl that seem to be about the same age, like probably high teens kind of age-ish. That's what we're thinking. Their game is bowling. There is a heart inside their bowling balls. The heart is linked to each player. His in her ball and hers in his ball. They are...
Can I interject for just a second?
Yep.
Can we also remember that this girl, like, most of them have no memories of, like, current events. This girl literally has no memories at all.
Yes.
She doesn't even know her name, whereas the other ones did.
Yeah.
Which was a little curious.
That's Chiyuki for people who are a little confused on what we're talking about. So yeah, the no-name girl doesn't remember anything at all.
No, the girl the two dead people that just walked in. She doesn't know her name at all.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The two of them walk in and he's like, "Oh, I'm this person." She's like, "I actually don't know who I am at all."
That's right.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
I was also talking, but Chiyuki is also the same way, but yeah.
So yeah.
So yes, they don't remember who they are. She doesn't remember who she is, but he does. Their bowling balls are linked. His ball has her heart in it, and her ball has his heart in it. They are so flirting. Like, you cannot say that they're instantly flirting with each other. He remembers, one of his first memories is he remembers a girl. She could potentially be. They are relaxed and having fun. There's no stress involved whatsoever in this game. He asks to go on a date with her if he wins. She used to work at a bowling alley. He was there at the bowling alley. They were friends as kids. They were together on the bus, and the bus crashed, and that's how they died. She thinks she's this other girl. I don't remember the name of it, but she thinks that she's the girl that is waving to him in his memory. But she's not. She ends up remembering that she's actually Mai, which is the other girl that was there that wasn't actually shown in the memory. He still wants to go on a date with her, even though they are dead. And she had plastic surgery, so he would notice her because she's always liked him. And judgment-wise, they were both reincarnated by the looks of it. Anything to add?
I just really liked Kenn's quote during that episode.
Oh, did I say something? What did I say?
You quoted them because at some point they were like, "I'm so glad we died," and you just started laughing, saying Gen Z moment.
Oh my god.
I was like,
oh man.
Okay.
It's true though. But yeah, no comment for this one. It was wholesome.
It was cute.
It was very cute, and it was a very good change of pace compared to the last one.
Yeah, the last one was very intense, so it was nice to like slow down a little bit and have like a pairing that wasn't so like
intense and so terrifying at the same time.
Yeah.
So that was that one. It was very calming, relaxing, kind of giving us a second view of it, because first one was definitely very intense, makes you think like this is what it's going to be like throughout the whole entire thing. Then that comes along and you're like, oh, this is so cute.
yeah, you can kind of see like how their game, like that game was actually kind of wholesome too, because like the ball had the hearts in their hands, right?
So they were like, feeling their heartbeats.
Yeah, feeling the heartbeats and also the warmth of the person too, because like when he was really stressed out because like he was feeling kind of sexualized to her or whatever, like he was
he
was stuff. His heart rate would go up and he would heat up because he was like nervous, and she would feel that, and it was kind of like a wholesome little thing. So it's like these death games are like, they can be horrible or they can be kind of like sweet depending on who's playing them and how they play
it definitely depends on like what's going on. It seems like, because they know what's like kind of what's going on, and because of that, like they get the memories, like they get little glimpses of everyone's history. Well, Deckham does, and Genty.
The eyeball airdrop.
You know who I'm talking about. The two bartenders.
Yes.
They get a glimpse at their memories, to kind of get an idea of what's going on. So because of that, a game is chosen based on those memories. Although it says it's roulette, the game is already decided.
Yeah. Yes.
Episode 4. We've got a woman and a man. The woman, I had to jot this down because I thought it was really, really hilarious. First of all, same voice actor as this person, as well as the fact the name of this character is the same. So the woman's name is Misaki Tachibana, which it happens to be the same name as Misaki Tachibana from Maid-sama, one of my favorite animes. It's also the same voice actor. And I was like, oh my god, it's her. But yes, she is a reality TV star, if you will, that literally, it's just about her family is what she's on. And she immediately thinks that this whole thing is a giant TV show. And tries to convince the man that she's with, who happens to be a bit of a nerd, that they just need to kind of relax and do what she says, kind of thing. The game is an arcade game. Plays as themselves. Their character is somehow imported into the game. And it's like a Street Fighter game. It's a fighting game. Dead or Alive, Street Fighter. List can keep going. Tekken. So it's one of those. Then it kind of gives us some flashbacks. First game, she lost, he won. Woman was the way I put it, inappropriate word, but I'm still putting it. Woman was a bit of a whore, had multiple kids, and was physically abused. A lot. She convinced him to lose on the next round. He comes from a divorced family, so his mom and dad split up. She neglected her children. He committed suicide, and she abused the manager. The manager killed her. And it was a back and forth on who won. So he won the first round, she won the second one, and then, I don't remember who won that. I think it was he won the last one, right?
No, it was a tie. The last one was a tie.
Oh,
yeah,
that's
the last
right.
one was a tie.
That's right.
And then they both just had an emotional meltdown. Like, my last note on this episode was they cried it out on bartenders' shoulders because of their shitty lives.
Also,
there was a straight up group hug.
Yeah.
Also, she literally tried to kill him.
Yeah, she did.
So
she had a rage fit.
She got to the point where she broke down and was like, no, I'm not gonna die for this shit, and was going all out in that last round. Deckham, being the dick he was, pressed the button to make the ball on the joystick fall off, which you could still play with. It makes it harder. I know, like, I wouldn't have
Just keep
cared.
going.
Whatever, Paul.
Just grab it and go. Like, what are you doing?
And then, the woman not being able to get to the ball, she resorted to literally smacking the guy's face into the arcade machine instead to stop him from playing, and immediately regretted it, but still did it. Thus resulting in the outcome where she went to the void and he was reincarnated. Opinions on that one, guys?
Well, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. You go first.
At first, that episode started to make me laugh because it literally just showed him being an awkward, like, almost basement dweller type person, and all he could focus on instead of her face was the boobs.
I didn't even notice that.
Neither did I. Neither did I, so I'm glad you did.
This is one of my biggest, all capital letters, keeps focusing on the titty. Like, just, he could not look her in the eyes. He just kept looking down, and I was like, buddy, come on, keep it together. You got this. And then they got to, like, the little computer, like the little arcade games, and it said otaku, and then it showed his body pillow attack, and I was like, oh no, buddy.
It literally just depicted him as a complete and utter nerd, and he felt so, like, he felt so embarrassed about it, but it was so true. Like, the more and more it kept going, I was like, nah, this is true, dude.
He was like, I'm losing even when I'm winning.
And yeah, and then he, the big reason why he broke down was because his, I guess it would be mother-in-law, or, like, the new woman in his dad's life. I don't know if they're married or not in that situation, but
I think he called her his stepmom.
Yeah. So his stepmom, that's right. It wouldn't be mother-in-law. My brain's just not getting there apparently.
Okay.
But yes, his stepmom was trying so hard to be a caring mother and to get him to at least accept her as another mother, and he was rejecting her in every way he could. And he felt really bad because when he committed suicide, she was still technically supporting him. She was there in the ambulance when they were rushing him to the hospital to try to save his life. Like, she was there the whole time, and he just wouldn't reach out to her, wouldn't accept her, and was just neglecting that attempt at trying to be with his family, and instead committed suicide. And that's why he was bawling his eyes out, because she tried so hard and he just refused to let her have any chance to it. And then as for the woman, she was bawling her eyes out because she couldn't be with her kids anymore. And she went through so much heartache and so much abuse and everything, and she couldn't do anything for them. Yeah.
I think the one interesting thing in this episode is we finally get to, this is like the first instance where we see Deckham kind of messing with them a little bit to see how they react.
Yep.
When, like, because he made the ball pop off his first, which is why he, like, the kid, why he lost the second time.
Yeah.
It's because his ball popped off the first time because Deckham pressed the button, which the nameless girl, Chi, was like, why'd you do that? And then Deckham's like, you gotta fuck with him a little bit. You know what I mean?
You gotta make it interesting.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta make it intense or it's not gonna do any results.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where you start to see, because like in later episodes it explains more that they have to do this to see how people react so they can make a better judgment of where to send them. So this is like the first instance where you see them where you see him messing with them.
Yeah.
As part of their job.
Okay, on a side note, Bree, can you please, like, fix your yellow bin? The knob is not there. It's the only one out of your bins, and it's driving me insane.
I can't fix it.
God damn it.
What knob?
I tried.
So everywhere on the colored bins, on the side of her thing, she's got colored bins, and the yellow one is the only one without a knob, and it's driving my OCD insane.
How do you see that? How do you see it? It's hardly on the camera.
It's my OCD.
When we picked it up, because it was picked up used, we weren't paying $100 for one of these things, all right? the knob was already missing. It's technically missing a drawer too, which I'm going to point out to you now.
I already knew that, but that doesn't bug me as much as the knob missing in the middle does.
I can't fix it. We don't have the part for it.
Because like I get that like pieces go missing. I get that, whatever, no big deal. But the second I saw that there was a knob missing, I was like, okay, the drawer, I get it. I have one that has a drawer missing. No big deal. It's also on the bottom, so it's not as bad as if it was like in the middle. Not a big deal. But the second I saw the knob missing in the middle of the damn colors, I was like, fuck. Ah! My OCD hates it.
Keep taking a pause for a second. I'm taking medication.
Okay, no worries. God, I hate my fucking medication. Well, while we're taking a pause, I'm grabbing my water bottle. I'll be right back.
I am so sad that I ran out of tea before we started.
I still have coffee. I've been like
literally
sipping on it the whole time.
as like as we were starting like the first going over the first episode, at one point I reached over to pick up my mug and then I realized it was empty and I like looked down and was like, oh, and I put it back and I was like, oh, like I'm out of tea. But yeah, no, I wish I could fix that, but that's also my D&D cart. That's where like all the paints are.
I'm like looking at it in my Magna screen right now, and I don't like. How did she even notice that?
Okay, so from the pink bins to the green and half of the yellow is all paint.
Oh, I didn't know that. I can't tell that.
The top drawer is all painted minis. The orange drawer is all unpainted minis.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay, I was like, what?
No, she.
And then we have the gobos.
I thought she was talking about painting them.
No, this is the D&D room.
Don't mind me.
This is where all D&D happens.
We have
my fake sectional.
Yes, I saw that.
And my monstrosity of a Build-A-Bear. His name is Ultron. And he says I'm Batman.
Ultron!
He's Ultron, says I'm Batman, has a Superman thing on him.
And if you look closely at the teddy bear that is Captain America's shield.
Oh, fucking of course it is. What the fuck, Bree? It's different fucking...
You almost said Ken. That's how mad you are at me all the time. You almost said Ken.
He is my prized possession. That is what we use to test any men to see if they are worthy of our time.
Also, for the podcast, Bree, do you want Bree or Kat? Because I keep on going to say your name, and I'm like, I don't know what name.
Bree works.
Okay, good.
I'm like, I've been calling her Bree the whole time, so...
Oh, okay, I didn't even notice.
Okay, back to it.
I got a lot of notes for episode 5.
Oh, you and me both.
Episode 5 has 2 pages.
Oh, wow. You pulled out the book for this one? Or 2 sticky notes?
Okay, episode 5. We start off with the story time. So it's a story, but it's a dream. And it's about Jimmy and a girl with a very creepy smile.
That smile was so unnerving. I hated it. Literally half of my notes, again with the creepy smile.
Yes, so the story is kind of weird. It's, the boy wants to go play with this creepy smiling girl, and they go play, and he falls in a hole and she helps him out. That's pretty much what happens. Cause the girl is deaf. She can't hear anything. So his way of doing it is just playing around in the snow to try to ask her to play with him. Anyway, and that is a dream that is happening in Chiyuki's head when she wakes up. She wakes up, starts to get ready, and notices a figure skating dress in the closet. She doesn't remember it being there before.
report.
Yes. She doesn't remember it being there before, and it's a little weird. Girl with a creepy smile is now on the roulette board because the roulette board got switched out.
Yep.
Great. See that every 5 seconds now. So this time around, it is a old man and a child. I don't. Not yet. Which, of course, immediately breaks our hearts, because it's like, damn it, it's a child. Man is a complete and utter asshole. He treats...
Capital letters, dude's a dick.
Oh, yeah, first, literally right after old man and child, man is ass. That's all I got next to it. He treats the child like shit, and then he treats the bartender like shit. And then it cuts to Nona and the godlike being.
And their pretty intergalactic pool table.
Solar system pool!
They're literally playing pool with planets. Nona has been in charge for 82 years. I thought that was kind of interesting. But yes,
She's aged well.
Godlike, yeah, she looks like a child. The whole time she looks like a freaking little kid. But yeah, godlike man is playing with her. Man has been here before. Oh, and then cut back. The old guy, it has been to the bar before, which is weird, strange. That's not normal.
Yeah, because he says he knows Deckham.
Yeah, he's like, I've been, he felt like he knew Deckham. It felt like he's been there before.
Yeah.
So, and then he starts to clue in, to what's going on, like, what is the process. And he immediately grabs the kid and starts to threaten them with chopsticks. Chopsticks of all things. After remember being at the Quinn Deckham before. Boy, so of course Deckham comes around the bar and starts to try to deal with this. Manages to pull the guy off of the kid and pin him against a wall. And the no-name girl goes to check on the boy. In doing so, the boy knocks out the girl. And... boy makes both of them pass out.
The guy passed out too.
Yeah, so something about him, it makes both of them pass out. Boy is actually the other bartender.
Goes ninja mode.
We find out that Chiyuki is a guest who who Deckham couldn't pass judgment on.
The name is.
She remembered that she was dead. Memories were then erased, and Deckham and Genji, or Genti, whatever his name is. Sorry, I'm thinking Genshin. Genshin popped in my head, okay?
Oh, see, I was immediately thinking Overwatch. We were thinking two different games.
No. But yes, this Gen guy, we'll just call him Gen guy. Save us all this trouble. So they start fighting. Deckham has, like, very, very fine strings as his weapon, if you will. And this other guy has, like, bubbles/sake. Like, it's totally sake, but it's not, like, actually explained that that's what it is. But they look like little bubbles of water. And they fight. And then Nona comes in and stops that shit with a fucking clothesline. Instantly out goes Gen guy. He's from another bar. And then something about Quinn. We still don't know who this Quinn is, but Quinn keeps getting mentioned.
Yeah, she keeps, like, getting side mentioned. Like, they just, like, pop her name into places, but they don't really say, like, how she, like, is
We're all
involved
like,
with the conversation.
What is this Quinn person?
Yeah,
huh?
yeah.
Man was a complete and utter dummy. Like, there's no soul left in it, just a dummy.
And not like an idiot dummy, like an actual, like, dummy, like...
One of Deckham's little things that he likes
like
to
a
collect.
Plaything. Not plaything, that's a bad way to put it. But you know what I
mean. But yes, so there's that. And then we cut again, and incoming Castra. Just we don't see this woman very often, but we cut to this room that has, like, a picture of Earth, and it's just blood dripping from the roof and dropping into little glasses, martini glasses. And Castra is in a weird chair thing and has a skull helmet. She's weird. She's very weird.
She also likes them big and dumb.
Sure. I don't remember that.
No, they were talking about Ginty and Deckham and how Deckham failed the test. And she was like, I won't see what you like about him too much. She's like, I like Ginty. And it was like yeah, I don't like him. It was, I like them dumb. It's fine. And I was like...
And then this is when we learn that Clavis is the elevator man. We learn his name in this episode. And then story continues. Clavo was creepy girl's name. So, like, the little dream story continues, and it just does the second half of the story, and we find out that her name is Clavo. Or Cavo. Clavo? Cavo?
I think it's Clavo.
Is it Clavo?
Or no, or is it Chavo?
Chavo. I'm like,
Chavo.
I spelt it right. I know I spelt it right, but my brain just didn't want to pronounce it right at all, looking at it. The only thing I didn't spell right was I didn't have 2 V's, because it has 2 V's in the actual name. I spelt it right later down. But yes, so that was the chaos of 5th episode. That was a lot.
Then we get to the cringe.
Yeah, the next episode is quite cringe.
The next episode's literally just cringe.
There always has to be one.
So, opinion on episode 5, guys. What is our opinion on episode 5?
Well, it was nice to know that there's not only, because like when they were talking about like them being arbiters, it was kind of nice to see like another arbiter finally like show up.
Yeah. The fact that it wasn't just only Deckham.
Yeah. It like shows that they actually have the whole system going. You know what I mean? So you get like some more insight on how their whole like thing is going. And also solar system pool, I want it.
I know, right?
That looks so cool. That looks so pretty.
It looks so awesome. Everyone wants that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, so episode 6. We got a teen girl and we got a celeb boy. On top of that, we are no longer at Deckham's bar. We are no longer at Quinn Deckham. Instead, we're checking out Genty's bar. The game is Twister.
Nice.
With a twist.
Lol.
We find out that he has a little cat called
my favorite
character. Me-Mine is the kitty.
Favorite character in the entire show right there.
Is a little cat. But yes, Twister with a twist. Each color has an effect. And then I wrote down each color. Red equals hot. Green equals air. Blue equals cold. And then yellow makes the floor fall away. And apparently spikes at the bottom.
Yes.
Celebrity is literally about to push her off when she decides to sacrifice herself to save herself from embarrassment, because she really has to pee and doesn't want to pee her pants in front of the celeb. But she literally sacrifices herself. And he although he was about to push her, tries to save her anyway. She still slips and falls. He got killed by a bomb planted... Oh, that's right. She literally slipped and fell and killed herself that way.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, he got killed by a bomb planted by one of his fans committed suicide because he broke up with her. Mm-hmm. And it was her sister who planted the bomb. I don't know if any of y'all got that part.
No, I definitely didn't pick up on that.
No.
But so when he opened the bomb, it said, this is for, and then the girl's name. Or my sister. Yeah. My sister, blah. That's why I knew that. But yeah. And yeah, so that's how that happens. We find out later on, something about one of them, but yeah. Anyway, how we feel about that one? That one was a really quick one.
It really showed how sadistic the red-haired guy is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like, he enjoys inflicting pain. He is a sadistic little shit. Yeah, he doesn't like humans. He's really sadistic, but he loves his cat.
Yes, he does. Even though it's bandaged, which is a little concerning. How'd the cat get hurt?
I mean, cats are quite dumb.
Depends on the cat. This
I
one seems
watched-
to be pretty smart because he's pressing the button every time he hears the noise.
Yeah, I watched my cat jump head first into a wall, so...
Well, as I said, it depends on the cat. It depends on the cat. And it seems like this
slinky
cat...
effect, full on.
It seems like this cat's pretty smart, so it was kind of weird.
Maybe it's just a spirit cat.
I think for this episode, it was mostly just a filler just to explain how, not Deckham, how
Genty?
Genty runs his portion of the show.
Yeah, his is very, very disturbing, and he gets right to it.
Yeah, like Deckham is kind of more robotic with his work, whereas like Ginty's a little bit more like, let's just like
at least
throw
Get
some
this over
shit.
and done with.
At least
Yeah,
with
exactly.
Deckham, it kind of gives them the opportunity to just relax rather than go all intense like every time. Though, like that's one of the ones that's just like, oh god.
Yeah, it's like Ginty is pushing them to show their true colors a little bit faster than Deckham is, whereas Deckham is very he's letting them. He's waiting. He's okay with waiting to see what happens on their own with just like little pushes, whereas Ginty's just like, fuck it, here's the whole barrel, go. You know what I mean?
Like, here, have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But the entire thing was very cringy.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Oh yeah. There always has to be that one episode.
This
For sure.
teen was a little too freaked out about the celeb. Episode 7. God Guy starts listing out the rules. 1. Arbiters can't stop making judgment. Reason why it's literally the reason why they exist. 2. Arbiters can't experience death. Would corrupt judgment. 3. Arbiters can't feel emotions, as they are dummies.
Bull. We've already seen a slew of emotions.
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, I know. But it just makes it stupid. Anyway, No Name finds the fairy tale and recalls a memory of her being read it at some point. Quinn has robot eye. We find out who Quinn is. Finally. We don't quite know everything about Quinn right away, but it does tell us more and more as we go. No Name remembers she's dead. Quinn used to own Quinn Deckham. Sorry, my voice is not happy with me today. The game choice for when Quinn was there for the last day, her last game, was pool. I have that written down for some reason. Not that it really matters. Deckham and Genty can make shots miss. Nona gives them the device to make things go haywire, and Deckham never presses it. Where is it? Yeah, Deckham never presses the button. Deckham is different. Quinn told Deckham to make something you can treasure. Deckham decides dummies are his things that he can treasure. 2 people per second die. They mention it lots of times, but for whatever reason, that's when I wrote it down.
I think that's the first time they've made it like important information, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
was
made
always
it, very apparent.
It was always there, and then this time they say, like, in every form, like, this many people die a day, this many people die in a year, this many people die in a second. Like, they narrowed it down, so it was starting to get there.
The way they kept on saying, specifically, they said so many people die in an hour. That's like Like that's like 1 every 2 seconds. That's
Yeah.
what they said. Something like that.
They broke it down, I think, to day to hour and then or hour to minute to seconds. So I wrote down the seconds because I couldn't remember the other numbers.
It was like 7,000, I think, for the hour.
Yeah, I think that was like that, and then it was like so that's like 2 per second is what they were saying.
Yeah.
Or like one per 2 seconds.
It was 2 per
And
second.
how they're overworked.
It was 2 people per second.
Yes.
Nona planted human emotions in Deckham. Deckham's dummies are people he has judged that lived a fulfilling life. It's the same dummies that their souls were in, and instead of their dummies just rotting in a pile somewhere, he actually took them back and made them into like their person. Genty can't make a judgment on the stupid teen that sacrificed herself. Nona keeps Deckham's emotions from the god guy.
Hear me out.
There's a lot.
Deckham seems like the most emotionless one at first.
Yes.
When you see everyone else, and they all have like a slew of emotions. Ginty feels so much joy when torturing people.
Yeah.
Sadistic as hell.
And he's also always angry. Like
he's always angry. He's got
pissed
some anger issues.
all the time.
They can't feel emotions. Bull.
They wouldn't be they would all be like Deckham if that were the case.
Yeah. But even Deckham shows like little ounces of emotion. Like he doesn't fully seem emotionless. Like he shows some sympathy compared to like the others.
So yeah, so this one was kind of an episode that like just told us it was a bunch of information. Is more what it was. It wasn't like a normal episode. There was just a ton of information just thrown at you.
Well, I was okay with that though, because like again, it's nice to see what the arbiters are actually like doing and
it was great to see a different person for one.
Yeah,
like they're all super stressed out.
Yeah,
because everyone's dying too quickly. So that's where the quote from Kenn came from. Would all humans please kindly stop dying? We are overworked.
we are understaffed. Please stop dying.
That's also where the one, because like the Quinn said like fill me up, and then you turned around and said that's what she said.
She's like holding a glass and she's like fill me up because she's like obsessed with alcohol, right? So.
And Deckham makes a mean martini.
Yeah, he does. Yes, he does.
Anyway.
I also just really liked that Ginty was picking on Deckham because he couldn't make a judgment on so-and-so, but then Karma came and kicked him in the ass and he couldn't make a judgment on the teen girl.
I know, he's like, oh, you can't make a judgment for this girl, and he's like,
you're pathetic.
You're keeping her like a pet, and then he turns around and keeps the fangirl like a pet in turn, so it's like...
Two human pets.
How the turns have tabled, huh?
Tables have turned, yeah. Episode 8. Things get interesting. We find out that a murderer is coming to the bar. We've got an old man and a young man. We find out the young man is 22. Young man has a bloody knife in his bag, so we assume that it's him.
I didn't notice that.
You didn't notice that?
I must have been typing my notes when they showed it because I didn't even notice.
They showed it multiple times. It wasn't just
really?
once. Yeah.
Okay, well, I was not paying attention then. There was so much. This episode was so full of stuff going on that, like, no.
Where do you think the knife came in on the next episode? Where do you think that came from?
I don't know. Nothing makes sense in this plane.
We find out old guy is a detective. The game is air hockey. Young man's parents died. He's only got a sister. Detective finds a wife murdered. Overworked to find killer. Like he literally doesn't stop. All he's doing is trying to find the killer. Young man's sister was beaten and possibly raped. sister was being stalked, and that stalker was likely who assaulted her. And that's all I got for that episode, because it's only half of that story, because the second episode 9 is the rest of it. So yeah, it gets really tense, really fast, with that episode. And we don't get lots of information. We get a bit of information, but yeah. What are y'all's opinion on episode 8?
Well, there's at the beginning, right before Deckham goes in, he comes to Nona and he's like, the new person that's coming in is a killer, and I've never dealt with that before. And she kind of looks at him and gives him a look as if like she's testing him to see how he does with this.
Well, that was all over the phone. That wasn't in person. But yeah.
No, but it did cut to her with like a bit of a smirk.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah. But yeah, you get the idea. Episode 9. So this continues. Same thing. Just continues from last episode. We find out both are murderers. It's not just the one. It's both of them.
Corrupt cops. Gotta love them.
Yeah, he's kind of like a terrible, evil vigilante. No Name got to see the memories, and that is why she knows that they were both murderers. The young man killed one of the guys that were there, but there was another. So he killed the man that assaulted her, but apparently there was another one that just watched. Detective killed the man that killed his wife, but the detective wanted to find wanted more, apparently. Detective found the man that the young man killed, and the young man killed the detective. Young man probably died bleeding out because he did get stabbed by the other guy at some point.
Yeah, when they were fighting.
Yeah. Detective was the man that watched. We didn't think he was. We just thought he was a bystander that walked in on the wrong thing, and then instead, nope. He did actually. He was the one that watched and didn't stop it at all. So with the air hockey, the way that it ended up getting into, the pucks ended up getting linked to body parts, and by the end of it, they actually were causing pain if they went into the goals. So Deckham, wanting to, not having judged yet, decided that he was going to make this whole thing more intense and put all the pucks for the evil cop detective dude in a stacked up, and then let the young man, destroy the pucks to inflict more pain. Because obviously he couldn't actually kill the detective. No Name tries to stops it for a bit. But the detective does cause him to still do it in the end and destroy those pucks. Obviously, both of them ended up being judged to be voided. To the void.
Yep.
Very evil people.
Well, hear me out. I feel the one is a little less evil.
Yeah,
the other
just
is
trying to protect his sister, and I get that. But
the one got filled with rage, the other got a taste of power.
Yeah, he definitely needed to go to the void, and if the one felt sympathy and and didn't destroy the pucks, he probably would have been reincarnated.
Yeah, which is what No Name was trying to get him to do. She's trying to explain to him, she's like, if you do this, you can't go back. This is it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a very, very intense couple of episodes. Like, it was.
That's also the episode where she started like hitting Deckham a little bit.
Yeah, so she got angry and she started punching him.
And Deckham was too stunned to speak.
Yeah, he was like, "What is going on?" She does, however, kind of convince him to stop judging the way he's judging. So episode 10 comes along, where things go a little. Yes, I have that written down too. where things go a little differently. We get a little bit of Deckham's story, not much, but a little bit. Nona is citing the rules of the Arbiter, same thing that the God guy did, same ones. No Name is running out of time and crumbling. She will become a dummy if she is not judged upon. And a special guest is coming to Quinn Deckham. The special guest is an old woman. And the game happens to be Old Maid. Words. Old Maid.
Old man.
Deckham is questioning his job and the method of judgment. The Joker happened to be figure skates. No Names remembers her name to be Chiyuki. That is the first time we find out about that.
Mm-hmm.
Her mother used to read the book Chavo to her. Deckham chose reincarnation for the old woman. It turns out the old woman was a illustrator and drew, and she lived a very fulfilling life. And she was reincarnated. Deckham also chose not to actually get her memories during that thing, so this was entirely just from the experience and what was told to him and everything. Godlike man is Oculus. Goddamn
Oculus
reading. Oculus reads Clavis' minds, learning the truth about Deckham and how Deckham has human emotions. And cut to black. That is how he doesn't only just read their mind. He has a flowered little beard thing that literally just shoots out and grabs Clavis's head.
It's like a brain wrap.
Oh.
I can't remember if this is the episode that Oculus God said it, but as Nona was leaving their little pool game, they were going back and forth, and she's like, well, maybe talk to God about it, and left, and he mutters, God's been gone. God is long gone.
I'm pretty sure that was the very first pool one.
But I remembered that, and I was like, spill the beans, bro.
Yeah, where's God at? Are you God? What's going on here?
He's a god, just not the god.
No, yeah. He's second in command, but okay, where's God then?
Yeah.
And why does no one else know?
Where's the higher up?
I just think his name is funny because Oculus is just translated to the word eye, so he's I God. That's it. I God.
Kind of lame.
All-seeing God. Okay, episode 11. The void gets explained. I don't remember. I just have void explained. I don't remember that part. What was that?
We don't know if Ginty's lying about how the void is or whatnot.
Yeah. Ginty gives Teen an ultimatum. Choose the celeb boy that she knows, or a complete stranger. One of them is going to the void. And then cut to black, and we switch to someone else. Yuki is going to skate. She's dressed up in her that skating dress that we saw, and in this blue skates that were on the Joker card. Flashback to Chiyuki's first time here. Chiyuki could remember she was dead, but couldn't remember how she died. Chiyuki is getting her memories back as she skates, seems to live a fulfilling life as a figure skater, injures her knee, stopping her skating career, fell into deep depression. Chiyuki breaks down. Chiyuki begins hating herself to the point where she commits suicide. Deckham is growing feelings for Chiyuki? Question mark.
I don't know if it's so much feelings or if he's feelings
learning
for her,
to emote.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. I don't think it's feelings.
I just
for
put question
her,
marks.
It's just feelings in general.
I always had that kind of feeling in the back of my head. Is that at
Yeah.
the end of it, he has feelings for her in some way. I didn't question it so much is just like by the end of it, like the first time I saw it as well as now, it's the same thing, where it kind of feels like he has some sort of emotion towards her. He is glad to have known her. Memento mori. Remember that you must die. Live for the moment. Gets brought up at some point.
Sorry. The
We
fact
had
that
a
it was
we-
called...
we had a good laugh for about like a good 10 seconds about that yesterday when we because that popped up on the screen and then we didn't say anything and then Bree went and Googled what it meant and came
No,
back.
I know what it meant.
Oh, you did? Oh, okay.
I was an Unis Honest fan.
Okay.
Memento mori, remember you must die.
Oh, no, it was
So
like it was a good like minute or two after it popped up on the screen, and then you said, "By the way, this is what it means," and then we just like died laughing for like.
They
15
literally
seconds.
say it in the episode that's what it means.
Well, later
but
on,
not
yes,
like for like a good minute.
Yeah, for a little bit, yeah.
And then they talk about living. The main meaning of it is to live in the moment. Decim drugged her, drugs Chiyuki. Teen flat cut, and then Teen chose Sleb's life over a stranger, and because of that, were sent to the void,
where they could drift together forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. What opinions on episode 11? We're almost done here, guys.
Just the scene. Okay, the music and the animation of her skating was beautiful, minus the one part where she was spinning on her skate and it was flat foot. No sense.
The physics gone.
Like the whole scene was so beautiful, and then Brie and I were watching it, and then she started spinning in a circle. Brie were like, and I were like, I don't think that's how skating works.
The way she was spinning, it was like this.
Yeah, it was like flat.
And I was like, I'm
spinning.
pretty sure to spin like that, you need to be like...
No.
Yeah.
It is flat. It is flat. It is
it?
flat. As someone who was obsessed with figure skating and watched every figure skating movie when they were growing up, I know how it is. And yes, you can do it. It's like this.
I just can't imagine you being able to spin in circles.
I've never seen it because I watched
there is
the figure
ones on
skating
the tips,
Olympics,
but the tips can't spin as much.
Like not full tip, but like a slight, like a slight angle from what I've seen.
Do it flat.
And that's where I said it was Yuri on Ice, but in a weird dollhouse.
Yuri on Ice is such a good one. We definitely have to cover that one at some point. Apparently, there's a second season, and I'm like, what?
It's not out yet. Yuri on Ice second season. I haven't watched the second season of that one.
It's definite. If it is out, it's not dubbed yet, and it's pissing me off. I want it. I want it now. That is one of those anime that I'm like, ha!
I also noted the random stranger that the one girl is supposed to choose, like, between the star and him. It looks like Light Yagami from Death Note. And I was like, excuse me?
Are they doing a whole bunch of references here and no one knows? Because they did Misaki from Maid-sama. They're doing Yuri on Ice, the skating shit.
I looked into it. It is an Easter egg because they're animated by the same company.
Yeah, like the fucking how many Easter eggs are we looking at here, guys? Like...
Also, in this episode, the cat ditches Ginty.
Yes, the cat is mad at Ginty.
For his decision.
Ginty.
Because he also lies to the girl about it.
Yeah. And then... Final episode! Decim asks for Chiyuki's memories. Oculus visits Nona. Oculus attacks Nona. Nona, being the skillful bitch she is, dodges it and says, "You're not getting a look at my mind."
Nah, fuck that.
She knows. Decim brings a Chiyuki to the lowest level. Chiyuki wakes to the sound of her mother calling her name. She is in her room. 3 months since she died, she sees her shrine. hears her mother, sees her mother, bargain her life for someone else's. Deckham offers a bargain for her life for someone else's. Up to her to decide. Definitely his final judgment for her, but obviously she's not quite thinking straight because she's looking at her mother. Her mother gives her an offering. Her mother grieves so much that she's bawling her eyes out. So she gives in and agrees to the bargain, but flashbacks to the memories of the judgment, and she changes her mind. She realizes whoever it would be would have someone that loved them, and she would cause that same pain to them. Deckham is hurting inside. This is all an illusion. It wasn't actually her mom. Deckham feels for her. Deckham breaks his shackles. That's the way I put it.
He broke the whole freaking...
Yeah, he broke the illusion.
He broke the whole thing.
He had a meltdown.
That's what I wrote.
That wasn't... I was like, you broke Deckham. There you go. He had a meltdown.
Yeah, that's what I wrote. I wrote in my notes, Deckham has a meltdown.
The little cross that's in his eye breaks. That's why I said shackles. Like, it's as if that was like a shackle in him, and it breaks. Yeah. And so does the illusion around them. She actually forgives Deckham, and he breaks more, emotions overflowing. Nona and Oculus were watching. Nona wants change. Deckham passes judgment, reincarnation. And then, yes, I put in me, mine, cat is missing. And the process continues. And then we find out that there was actually a fourth rule. Arbiters can't work hand in hand with life and because it will ruin them. Next judgment that walks into Quinn Deckham is a man and a woman, and Deckham creates a Chiyuki dummy, and that is where the anime ends. Any other tidbits, guys?
I hate that they ended it on a cliffhanger.
They always do. They did and didn't, because now we know that she's gone, which it kind of revolved around her for the most part. Yes, there was like little bits that it wasn't about her, but it seemed like a lot of it was about her.
I wanted to know more about the afterlife.
We wanted more. We obviously didn't get more because there isn't a second season. Sad face.
I'm more miffed.
So yes,
less sad.
So what is our overall opinion on this anime, aside from the fact that it's fucked up?
I thought it was pretty.
Yeah.
I liked the animation. It was real pretty.
I loved it.
Left me questioning a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot of questions that are just still not answered.
And as someone who is not that bright, it was me sitting there going like, wait, what just happened?
Yeah, no, the very first time I watched it, I clued into the fact for that first episode when she lies to him. I clued into that the very first episode.
Oh, you could tell by the way she sat there and paused. It was like she was like literally going through everything. It was okay, here's my plan of action.
It was
like
very obvious that she lied to us as humans. But that's Deckham.
Deckham's just like, no, she said she was lying, taking her like for her word.
But that's the problem. He doesn't understand lying. He doesn't understand the reason why we lie. Or some of the reasons that we lie, and that's the problem with him. But yeah, I loved this anime. Yes, I'm mad there's not a second season. But that's kind of what happens a lot of the time, where a lot of animes that I love don't have second seasons, and I'm pissed off. Ken, what about you?
I'm sorry, what am I putting my...
2 cents about the whole anime.
The whole anime? It was really like engaging because there's just so much going on that there's no way you could like be bored. You know what I mean? There's no point where it's just like dead air. So, like, if you want an anime that's always constantly fast-paced, this is definitely it, unless you can't handle, like, the triggering points, of course.
Yes, if you
I
guys
also-
can't do the trigger.
Which is great for, sorry, go ahead.
I appreciate there was only one filler episode, really.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I appreciated that as well. Just because, like, I get bored really easily, and I, like, get fidgety. So to have an anime that always grasps your attention like this, it was a very easy watch.
Yeah, it was definitely one of those anime that always wants you watching more. Like, it makes you want to watch more.
And it was hard to take notes because you couldn't take your eyes away from what was going on, because if you, like,
I
couldn't, right? Because I was doing the watch party. So, like, it was hard for me to, like, take notes, because I feel like if you looked away for 10 seconds, you were missing, like, a slew of shit going on, you know what I mean? So, it's a very exciting, engaging anime. So I think if you, and it's short too, so, like, it's a good watch. I don't know. But,
There's a bit of hope for a second season.
Is there?
Not all hope is lost. Yep, in 2016, it said they were going to work on one, and they're not following a manga of any type, so it's going to take a little longer. But hear me out. Devil Part-Timer came out in 2013 and didn't get a second season till when?
9 years
like,
later.
Now.
9 years. There is
I'm not
hope.
saying there's a lot of hope, but there's some.
The problem is the hope for Devil is a Part-Timer was because of the fact that it became so popular because of Netflix. Death Parade is not on Netflix, and it hasn't been on Netflix yet. So
No, but it is relatively popular.
Okay. The biggest thing is it needs to become very popular, make enough money to get a second season. Yeah, there is the problem of there not being a manga. I actually forgot to look into the second season possibility. So thank you, Brie, for doing that. Because normally that's supposed to be my job. I forgot to do that.
I went down a rabbit hole yesterday.
Yes, she did. It was like a good hour.
We were like talking after, and I was like on a fucking mission.
Yeah.
I'm glad one of us did it, because with what's going on with me, physically, health-wise, brain did not go there this month. I've got too much going on. But yes, so that's a wow. This went really fast in comparison to the last one.
I mean, that's all right.
I have a feeling, if we're like, because Castlevania's good, I'm gonna be going off. I'm sorry.
So yes, guys.
Go off.
So yes.
I was going off about it yesterday too.
Yeah, she was. I sent a picture of because she's like, "Well, you should watch Castlevania," and I looked up an image on Google just to be like, "Well, what does it look like?" And then I was like, "Ooh, this person looks pretty," and I sent her a picture in our group chat.
So just to summarize, guys, this is a good anime as long as you're not going to be triggered by the things that we talked about. Because yes, this definitely isn't a show for children. Do not watch this don't watch this if you're underage. At least be 18, 16 at least. It has some very sensitive topics, so if you guys are not okay with those topics, please do not watch this anime. We do not recommend it if you guys have triggers of any sorts involving those kind of things. This is a very intense anime that is also very entertaining and keeps you into it constantly. You won't get bored with this anime, but it's definitely one of those anime that if you have any issues with gore, sexual assault, suicide, murder, anything like that, this is not the thing for you. So please keep that in mind. Also, yes, we are going to be doing Castlevania. We're going to be doing the first 2 seasons, technically. It'll be the first 12 episodes is what we're going to be doing for Castlevania. So if you guys want to join in on that one, that is the one we're doing for the spooky season, because it's Halloween month. It's my favorite time of year, kind of. I say that it's my favorite time of year. The only reason why it's my favorite time of year is because of Halloween. I love Halloween. I love pumpkin
Listen,
pie. I love Thanksgiving.
listen,
That's
I'm
what it
already
is.
decorated in here. You can't really see it.
I see it. There's the witch hat on the little stuffies behind you.
No, that just comes with it.
Well, still. Ooh.
That's stock spooky.
I have a I'm
Can't
working
see
on a
it.
project over there. It's a candle holder. It's a little skull hand.
But yes,
I have a pumpkin full of candy.
I do
Nice.
plan on cosplaying for the next one. I just don't know if I'll cosplay for the anime or if I'll cosplay for Halloween costume. I don't know. We'll figure it out. I might be able to do her. We'll see. We shall see. I still don't even know what I want to do for freaking Halloween on its own. So,
I have an idea, but I don't know if I'm gonna fit in my costume. So
yeah, that's it's one of those things. We had a lot of difficulty kind of figuring out what kind of anime we were gonna choose for this spooky season, because of the fact that it was spooky season, and there's so many different anime that you can watch that are kind of spooky but not too spooky, or they like have like other things that make it not so spooky. But there's like so much. There's so much that we could have chosen. So yeah, we decided to do Castlevania for this one. Vampires and all. It's a little spooky, kinda. There's lots we could do. There's so much we could have done. I promise you in that. But yes, so this one is what we're doing for next month. Yeah. Is there anything else you guys want to add about this anime that we watched?
I think I covered all the bases that I wanted to
Yeah.
talk about.
This one's a bit of a short one, but that's okay. So obviously these will vary on length depending on the anime. The longer it gets, the more detailed the stuff will, like, depending on what's all happening on it. I thought this was very detailed on my freaking summary, but we went so fast. And yeah. So fuck. This went well. Best thank you guys for coming around. We'll see you next time.
Ridiculous.
That's all the anime tea we have for you today. Be sure to like and comment if you enjoyed today's podcast. Let us know what you think of Death Parade. Next month we will be covering Castlevania Season 1 and 2, which can be found on Netflix if you'd like to join us. So if you enjoyed our content, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube and hit the bell for notifications.
Feel free to check us out. You can find links to our social medias down below. Thanks for listening, and we will catch you next time.
Ta-ta for now.